I can do this all day. So here's what I want to do. I'm about to go see Captain America Civil War, but I have been preparing to see Captain America Civil War for about 2-3 weeks. What I mean by that is I've rewatched Captain America The First Avenger, I've rewatched Avengers Assemble, I've rewatched Captain America The Winter Soldier, and I've just rewatched Avengers Age of Ultron. Also, I've read the Civil War comics as well. Now, when I say the Civil War comics, there are like about 1 billion-ish Civil War comics. But the one that I read was a 7-part series by Mark Miller, Steve McNiven, Dexter Vines, and Murray Hollowell. Now, the one that I read is more of an overview of the Civil War, from how it started, how it progressed, and how it ended. All the other ones really focus on one particular character, or maybe a few particular characters, or just some of the events leading up to it. But this is an overview of the main Civil War event. So with all that said, I think the character to really look out for is going to be Spider-Man, for a few reasons. One, Spider-Man is the best comic hero ever. Like, there is nobody better than Spider-Man, bar none. Spider-Man is the best. Spider-Man is like up here, everyone else is down here. Spider-Man is the best. And also his character goes through quite a journey as well, so I'm hoping in the movies they don't just oversimplify it. Another one to look out for is Black Panther. In the trailers it looks like he's going to be on Team Iron Man, which is, shall we say, interesting. In Age of Ultron, there's a part where they're in Wakanda and Hulk's mind gets taken over by Scarlet Witch. So Iron Man gets his Veronica mech suit and starts fighting with the Hulk, and they're fighting all over their place, and they're destroying buildings and destroying roads and things, and damaged cars. It's just all over the place. It's just complete destruction. Now in the comics, Black Panther didn't really want to get involved initially because Wakandans don't really like Americans being involved with their business. So as such, he didn't really want to get involved with the Americans' business. So we consider that Iron Man was a big part of the destruction to Wakanda. It makes one wonder why Black Panther would be on Iron Man's side. So it'd be interesting to see how that comes about. And also, although I kind of doubt they'll do this, it'd be cool to see other Marvel characters come in the movie as well, because in Civil War there are loads of people involved. I mean, pretty much the entire Marvel universe is involved in some way or another. I mean, they're not all major players. Most of them are just small minor roles. Some of them don't even get named, but pretty much everyone you can think of is involved in some form or fashion. So I doubt they'd have that many people in the movie, just be too many people on screen. Even if they did have minor roles, I just doubt they'll do that. But it'd be cool to see if characters like Daredevil show up, or Luke Cage, they appear in the comics in smaller roles, or possibly Jessica Jones or Iron Fist. They're not in the comics, but because they got the TV shows linked, they might have little cameos. I doubt it, but it'd be cool if they did. Now, a couple of other things. Thor is in the comics, but not in the way that you might be thinking. So if they put Thor in the movie in the same way they do him in the comics, I will literally lose my shit. And as we know, this is all leading into Infinity War, so could Thanos be making an appearance? But anyway, those are my pre-thoughts for the movie. I'm gonna go watch the movie now. Well, not right now, still got a few hours to go, but I'm gonna go watch the movie and come back with my thoughts on the film itself. Okay then, so I have just seen Captain America Civil War, and for the rest of this video, pretty much I'm just gonna be saying go see the movie, because it is fantastic. As an action movie, spot on. I cannot fault it one bit at all. It is an event. And what I mean by that is there are lots of good movies out there, lots of great movies out there, but when you go to the cinema, you really want something spectacular, something that's not just a good movie, something that's not just a great movie, but something that's worth you paying the money to get into the cinema, worth you buying food, worth you making a trip, worth all of that time and all the effort you put into going to the cinema. You want something that's going to justify that event, that experience, and Captain America Civil War absolutely does that. Fantastic film. Go see the film. It's fantastic. Right, let's talk about some things now. So Spider-Man, awesome. Now they got all the characters just spot on anyway, but Spider-Man, maybe I'm a little bit biased because Spider-Man is my favorite comic hero just ever, but even still, maybe the one thing I could fault it on is there's not enough Spider-Man. Like if the whole movie was Spider-Man, that might be better, but then it wouldn't be Captain America Civil War, so it's kind of a moot point. It's not exactly how it was in the comics. I never expected that anyway, but that's being said, it is actually quite a lot of things that happen in the comics that also happen in the films, but just with different characters or slightly different ways, so it is actually quite faithful. Another standout character for me was the Black Panther as well. Everything about him was fantastic. I loved how they introduced him. I loved how his character played out as well. I'm not overly familiar with Black Panther from the comic books, but from what I do know, the little that I do know, it does seem pretty faithful to it, about the Warrior King, about how the Black Panther is passed down from generation to generation. And also off oftentimes with these movies where you're having one big character versus another big character, whether it's Batman versus Superman or Alien versus Predator, or in the Forbidden Kingdom where you had Jet Li versus Jackie Chan, you get a cool fight, right? But you don't necessarily get a real satisfactory ending to the fight. And no spoilers, but whether you are Team Captain America or Team Iron Man or Team I don't really care which one, but whichever side of the fence you sit on, I think everybody's going to be satisfied with the way this fight ends. It's a fantastic fight and it ends so satisfactory, and that is something that is so rare. In fact, personally, I don't think I've ever seen that in any of these, big character versus another big character movies. And I'm not saying it's never happened, I'm just saying I don't think I've ever seen it, and if it has happened, then I believe it is something that's very, very rare. But this has a very, very satisfactory ending. They don't bitch out on anything, and it just works. Everything works about it, and it was awesome. And yeah, Daredevil and Luke Cage didn't make an appearance, but whatever, that's a minor thing. I mean, I'm not mad about that. It would have been nice if they were there, but whatever. It doesn't ruin the film. Feels still fantastic. There was, however, a nice surprise there, at least for me anyway, because I didn't look at the movie database credits beforehand, so I didn't know this particular person was in the film. If you are familiar with the TV show Sherlock, if you're a fan of the show Sherlock, then it's a nice surprise, unless you already know that this person's in the film, in which case it's not a nice surprise because you wouldn't be surprised. But if you're a fan of the show and you don't know this person's in the film, then it's a nice surprise. And that is what I think of Captain America Civil War. What do you think? American Pie or American Wasteland? Let me know down below. And if you like this video, give it a like and share it amongst your friends. If you did not like it, then give it a dislike and share it amongst your enemies. Either way, let me know your reasons in the comments. Subscribe if you have not already. Thank you for watching, and until whenever, if ever, some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is what he wants, well, he gets. I don't like that any more than you, man.
Time. For me, I started watching in about 2006 up till about 2012, and then I took a few years break, came back, and then started watching again, and it is a genuine, it's a lot more fresh than it used to be.